nice. It's a little boring for me as Sanya Richards-Ross. I think pregnant-wise, yeah, she's done well. It's not bad. She might flip-flop with my third place. Third place I give to Miss Sheree Whitfield. If you look at it, it has a little bit of like S&M, like stitching in there. It's kind of got a little something. It's age appropriate. Second, I think, I don't know, part of me hates this, but it's still second place because I love it, is Kenya Moore. In a way, I think this hair ages Kenya immensely. I think Kenya's looked so much better, but I do love a good feather moment. And honestly, maybe because she's the fashion girl of the group and the archive, but I actually really love Marlo's.
Oh,
I think it's so effortless and fun. And I love that it's like showing one leg only and half the shoulder. Yeah, I really am into Marlo's, actually, believe it or not. But I understand why someone would actually hate it. Like, I actually do, but I really kind of love what Marlo. And I think it just looks like she's so like, oh, this reunion. Oh, yeah. It looks so easy and effortless. I love it. As the other girls look like, I mean, Drew looks like it took her like a week and a half to get ready. Like, this is the biggest event of her life. Marlo's just like, oh, this old thing. And it's probably like more designer than any of them. So I don't know. I really like Marlo's.
That's a good take. I appreciate that take.
You wore me out. By the way, Jenna Lyon's girlfriend is revealed, and she didn't want to bring it on the show, but it's revealed, and there you go.
Her? I don't know who she is. Do you? Is she like well known in New York?
She seems like she's some photographer, or I mean, I don't know who Jenna is to think that she can come on this show and just not like, you know, that this would never be found out. I mean, these people dig, girl. They dig and they find out, and then life moves on, right? So yeah, that doesn't shock me. And here we are.
Jenna, I really like on the show. There's something
you do.
She brings an element. I was trying to pinpoint what it is. It's that Carol Radiswell element. Rinna had this too, to an extent. It's like they're almost famous in a whole different industry. So they have a level of, I don't know. I guess I think it just comes off as less desperate, as this, like, they're looking at it as this experiment, you know, and they're a little more like raw and trusting or whatever. I don't know. I think they come into play in a different way. And I loved when the women asked her about, you know, Jenna talking about how like the New York Post kind of forced her to come out because they had discovered she was seeing a woman. And I don't know. I love the whole, I just like her. There's something mysterious about her, and
a lot of people like her
about her. And yeah, I love the classy. There's like a level of, and I don't want to say, because I really actually like this cast, but there's just like a level of sophistication, I think, with a
Jenna,
with a Carol. Rinna didn't really have that. So, but I'm trying to think if there's anybody else.
I don't know how you might like Jenna more than I like Jenna.
Oh, really? Okay. Like,
you know what it is?
I loved Candy when she first came on. There was just Candy was like a whole 90s, music producer icon and star. There was just another level of her getting it in business. Those are the three women. The rest all seem a little like, just what we expect from the Housewives women.
You know what I liked about Sai, at least from interviewing her, is like she's, besides seeming authentic, she seemed to me to really convey that like her day job pays the bills. Like she makes money as an influencer online, as a fashion influencer. It's real. She has partnerships with Dior. So look, I told Sai, I mean, this almost sounds arrogant that I sit here and I give new housewives advice. I gave it to the professor. I gave it to Lisa Barlow and Whitney Rose. And I just, I said to Sai, like, don't change. I mean, they all say the same thing, and then you can't even recognize them a year later. And I don't mean physically. I mean, like, they change. Yeah. But I got the impression from Sai that like it's all about her day job, and that is what pays the bills. And being famous and being on a show that you can get fired from at any point is just a fleeting moment. And that's what I liked about her, that she's like, I work. Listen, you're a content creator. It ain't so much fun, girl.
No, it's total work. No, no, no. It's complete work. It's nonstop. It's 24/7. It's always dealing with clients. It's a lot. No, I agree. I like all the women actually on this cast. I really do. I don't know. There's just something about Jenna.
Sarah is loving the new RHONY.
I know. And I'm having my lesbian moment because I also freaked out when you went to Jill's party with Barbara because I have like such a lesbian crush on Barbara.
I had
And a
dinner
little
with
bit,
Barbara in the Hamptons at Sag Harbor Kitchen the night before. I went to dinner with Barbara Kavovit and Elyse Slaine. We had
oh,
and
Barbara. I'm like in love with her. I love a woman with like a tool belt. Like Barbara's she's just a hot. Is she still a lesbian? Because Barbara was like on the fence.
listen, Barbara and I had a moment at the dinner.
Yeah.
We had a moment. We're friends now. Look, I mean, I walked up to her. I mean, I was there before Elyse. I haven't talked to Barbara in forever. Elyse put the dinner together. And like, I'm just a hugger. I mean, like, Sai walked into our interview and hugged me. Hello. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm a hugger. I'm like, no, I get it. I am too. I just went to like hug Barbara and she didn't really hug me back. This is true. Friday night, Sarah's like, ooh, more tea. And then I was like, okay. I was like, so you don't want to hug me? Hello? It was a little bit awkward. And then she said, not really. And I said, okay, so we're going to start out the evening with you being a bitch. Like you don't come in my face. It's not how I don't work like that. It's not my thing. And the people behind the podium that were waiting
That's
to see
rough
us.
to her face.
I mean,
That
well, yeah, girl, I don't
hurt.
play.
That to me is see, that's harsher to me than when you called Melissa Gorga a cunt. Like that's really
I mean, this was real life,
like are you not showing my girlfriend some respect? My God, give Barbara her due. Like,
Well, then she said, and then the
over.
people
Yeah.
behind the podium, I think, were a little confused. And then I was like, I'm not speaking to this bitch anymore tonight. Then Elyse showed up with her friend, and then we went to sit down. And then right after we sat down, Barbara had to go to the bathroom. Within like 2 minutes, I don't play around. And then, like, just like Margaret can come up to me, we're talking about it on air. So then Barbara went to the bathroom, and I said to Elyse, like, listen, there's no drama here tonight. I don't have drama in my life. I'm not upset. I'm just letting you know that while we were waiting for you, I went to hug Barbara. She said she didn't want to hug me. I basically told her that she was a bitch. And Elyse is like, this just happened now? And I said, yeah, now. And she's like, should I say something? I was like, no, I handled it. I told her she was basically a bitch. But she's like, this really happened. I'm like, I don't make things up. Then Barbara came back to the table. At one point, I said something. She rolled her eyes. I was like, oh, this bitch is dead to me. I'm not speaking to her. So then I did not speak to her during the dinner. Awkwardly, I literally was purposely ignoring her because I'm like, you're dead to me once you get two strikes. Then during the dinner, as we were drinking, she started softening up. And by the end of the night, we decided we're best friends. We had ice cream. We had ice cream in Sag Harbor. And then she's like, do you want to go with me to Jill's? Tomorrow you can come to my house. We'll go together. I'll show you the house. I'm like, you're my best friend. And Elyse is like, you're both certifiably crazy. That's all. Oh, and about an hour later into the dinner, Barbara said something about not being difficult. And Elyse is like, no, you're not difficult. You just don't like to hug people hello when you haven't seen them for a while. So there you go. And now Barbara and I are friends. And she asked me if I was going to talk about this on air. And I said, yes, I was. So there you go.
Oh my God, David. Well, we have come. Oh my
I mean, like, I